hi everybody. This is Mai, and I'm here again with Dr. Lan Nguyen, and we are live again today. We are waiting. I know some friends will be joining us in a couple of minutes. And if you're joining in, feel free to chat in the comment box, to put in the comment box how you're doing. Say your name, how you're doing, and how has it been for you the last 3 days of practice? Okay. Hi, Dr. Lan. How are you today?
Hello, Mai, and hello, everyone. I am doing very well, and I am very excited for our today's topic because it's so dear to my heart. And how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing great, actually. Yesterday I didn't have as much sleep as I wanted to, and usually because my daughter woke up. That's your alarm clock.
Yes, sorry. it's my mindfulness bell.
Yes, your mindfulness bell every hour, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so my daughter woke up at 3 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep for another hour. So both her and I had a little rough of a morning, but these things happen as part of having kids. Yes, but we make the most of it. So other than that, it's been great. I have my cup of tea and ready for today's session.
Wonderful, wonderful. And in the past 3 days, we have gone through a few different tasks. So the first day, when we talked about gratitude, we practiced the grace breathing, which is a very simple practice that I think everybody can try. So we did that, and we had got some good feedback about how breathing can help others to really calm down, especially as you go through a very busy day, right? So that's
Mhm.
the first day. And then on the second day, we talk about respect. And the most important part of respect that we need to practice is to respect ourselves. Because mostly when we go through life, we focus so much on the relationships with other people, right? With our loved ones, with our friends, with our colleagues, with everybody around us. But sometimes we forgot the most important relationship, which is the relationship with ourselves. So
Mhm.
on the second day, we talked about the very powerful statement of I am statement and truly look inside ourselves and also recognize the importance of ourself, of being ourselves. And some of our participants share some great tips about when she feels that she's at the rock bottom, that she forgot, like she has long time forgot, how what her really truly self is. So it would take time, and that is perfectly okay. Living, especially throughout the 2 years of the pandemic, and also in a very uneasy and turbulent world right now, it's very easy to disconnect from ourselves. So my recommendation is just focus on where you want to be. Write down the I am statement as if you are already there so that you can anchor on that and move on. So that's our second day. And yesterday we had the chance to really reflecting back on ourselves in terms of the wheel of life. Because as what? Life is not just one dimensional, it actually has multi dimensions. And in order for us to live our best life, we need to have a balanced wheel of life. And we have discussed that, and we did some exercise, and we send you the note just in case if you don't have uh, the practice with us, or you did not attend our section, then you can try on the worksheet.
Mhm.
So so in order for you, so you already set intention, what kind of version of myself that I want to be with some small action. But sometimes it's not easy, right? It's not easy to create any change. Even those are the positive change that will bring you up. But it's always hard. So that's why you need today's value, which is courage. Because without courage, without that additional muscle to really pull you through, then you will be overcome by fear, by all the obstacles, and we will never be able to reach our potential. So today we will talk about that values.
Amazing. So, in terms of courage, what if you can please share with us? Because I think when we think about courage, we also think about um, the things that we're scared of, right? Like when I think about courage, I think of, okay, when do I really need courage? It's to do the things I don't want to do, or to do the
Or things that you feel uncomfortable, right? You
yeah.
feel uncomfortable. You don't want to do it. You know that it's the right thing to do, but sometimes you just don't want to do it.
Yeah, because the things I already do, I find like it's okay. It's easy for me. So I don't feel like, oh, I need to practice my courage muscle. But when there comes to change, when there comes to something new, something uncomfortable, or facing the unknown, or yeah, getting out of a regular routine. So I'm very interested in what you have to say about courage in the practice today that can help us to develop that courage muscle of ours.
Yes. Okay. So before we do everything, I have a gift for you. I have a poem that's really talking about courage in a very simple tone. So let's together we try some poetry today, and I hope that you enjoy it. I actually have it in my diary. Okay, so this is my journal book. I journal every day, and this poem just touched my soul. When I read it, it just really touched me at a very deep level, and I found tremendous energy from that. So I hope that by reading this and sharing this with you, I will bring some more courage into your life. Okay, so the name of the poem is "The Invitation" by Oriya Mountain Dreamer. And here it goes. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you are ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you still risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, and for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you had touched the center of your own sorrow, if you had been opened by life's betrayal, or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine and your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wilderness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitation of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul, if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty even when it's not pretty every day, and if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand on the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live and how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know and how you came to be here. I want to know if you still stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where and what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself, if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments.
Wow, what a powerful and wonderful poem. Thank you for reciting that to us. I heard you share that poem once before, and now listening to it again, give me chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful poem. Perhaps you can shed a little bit light on that poem. And everyone who's listening, if you have any comment or any thoughts on the poem that you just heard, what do you think?
And hello, Miss Ngay. We see Miss Ngay Lương. He's here, and somebody else. If you can type in so we can know who you are. Yeah, thank you. It's so great to see you. And this poem it spoke to me so much. It talked about the deepest part in your soul, right? Like each of us normally we have our brain and our heart, and our heart is part of our soul. And thank you, Wendy. And this poem reminds me so much that sometimes, our brain and our mind is programmed in such a way to protect us. So whatever dream that you have, whatever things that you want to do that out of your comfort zone, normally the brain will say, stop, don't do it. You will fail, don't do it. So those fears is always exist. But your soul doesn't know. Your soul doesn't know those fears. Your soul just know one thing. I want to expand. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to grow. I want to fly, right? And that soul, if you connect it to that soul of yourself, you will become invincible. The power within you, that is the courage. That's why they call it courage. Because courage, it starts in French, it starts with cœur. And cœur in French is mean the heart. And most of the time we go through life, we forgot to connect with our heart. So what living in grace has always reminding you is that you have the most beautiful gift inside yourself, which is your heart. And once you connect it to your heart, that is your tremendous source of energy that you can hang on, that you can rely on, so that you can be, even you are alone, you're not alone because you have your heart, you have your soul. And listen to your soul and practice it. You will see a complete different world. All right. And if you like, we will send you the poem. Okay. You want to listen and learn each line in the poem. That's wonderful, Miss Leung. We will send you the poem to be included in the worksheet today. Okay. It just like it's an inspiration this morning, so it was not planned in the worksheet. So I just add the poem at the end. But again, it's awaken your soul, and that is the most beautiful thing you can do for yourself. So yesterday we talked about the wheel of life, right? And some of you say that some of your dimension is just so little. Like, I mean, you need to grow that. It's because of all the fears, right? So yes, and Lucy said about what a beautiful lens is to see the world, because like when you connect to your heart and you truly live the life that you are meant to live, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. And most of us going through life, we let fears dominate us. We let the fears of failure, right? The fears, like maybe Mai, you can share what kind of fears that you normally face with.
Oh, I have a lot of different fears as well. One of my fear would be, of course, fear of failure, right?
Mhm.
Wanting to start something and worry, oh, what if it doesn't work out? What if I feel like I wasted my time? Or I feel, for example, when I remember wanting to start my podcast, I'm like, okay, what if no one listens to me? Or what if so every time I try to do something new, I always have different type of fears. Yeah. I also have fear towards being a mom, raising my children, being a parent, how my children will turn out as well too. That leads to kind of like, I guess, some anxiety and some worry.
right? Yeah. So we are basically, if we let our brain dominate us, and our brain, I'm not saying that to defect the brain. I mean, the brain has its own function. And the fear, most of us go through life, we need the fear so that we can be successful, right? You need to be okay, like in terms, if you are a student, the fear of being failed makes you give more energy so that you can do the work, you can go do the studying instead of going to see the movie, so that you can get an A test, right? However, if you occupy by this fear so much, like you obsess with these fears become the limiting belief that
Mm-hmm.
you are not enough, you are not good enough, and all of this good, not good enough, I am afraid to be judged, I'm afraid to be disapproved, all of these fear, it becomes an obstacle preventing you to achieve the potential within you. And each
Mm-hmm.
of us is born with so many gifts inside. And sometimes, lots of people say that when they get to the end of life, they did a research of the people, before they finish their life. The most dominant regret is that they feel sorry that they didn't have the chance to really do something they really want to do, but all of these fears preventing them to do. If you like, one of my mentor, Dr. Wayne Dyer, said that don't die with the song still not sing, like your song still not sung, because like each of us have a song to sing, and this is just a metaphor. You have a gift that you're supposed to bring out to share with the world, but sometimes because of all of these noises, sometimes you forgot that you have that song you need to sing, so sing your song. And even you look like ridicule yourself in front of everybody, but you never know, if you feel so good inside, that is what you are meant to do, right? And fear, exactly. And Lucy is talking about self-sabotage. Like I am the one that raised my hand as well. Like we self-sabotage ourselves all the time because we let fear controlling us. So how do you not letting fear, so not letting fear to control your life? Because without that, you will not be the best version of yourself. And everybody who growing, we have to sign up with the inconvenience, right? We have to sign up with the inconvenience, because if you just want comfortable, you will not grow. But if you grow, then it will be discomfort. Like there's some discomfort at the beginning, which is fine. But after that, it's just like the cocoon, right? The cocoon, if they don't break themselves, how can they transform into the butterfly? And
Mm-hmm.
so this transformation is needed when you really practice courage. So practice courage is not like don't have fear. Let me tell you, everybody have fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything exists in our world. But how can you embrace your fear? And holding fear on one hand, like just like my other mentor, Lisa Nicole said, hold your fear in one hand and hold your dream on the other hand, and then you just jump. You just jump. And what is the worst case that happen after you jump? If you fail, right, you fall into something soft, or you fell on something that hard, but then you know that you have what it takes to get back up. So what is the worst? Like even you failure is a step for you toward success. So when
Mm-hmm.
you in that mindset and use the lens of courage, then and the key thing is connecting to your heart, because connecting to your heart, know exactly who you are and believe in yourself that you can do it, and that part is so important. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So so now what is the challenge? What is our current challenge for
So
today?
the challenge today, we will start something small, but this is just the first step, because if you want to do more with me and with my and the whole team, then you can sign up with the Grace Foundational course. But this is just one small action for today. First, you identify some fear that really obsessed you, that you don't like, and you really want to overcome. Write that down. Okay, name one fear and understand why you have that fear. Maybe in the past you have failed and you got ridiculed or whatever. Like try to reflect why you have that fear, and then determine how this fear preventing you to to really become the person you want to become. For example, if you really fear of speaking up, right, of speaking in the, but you want to become a public speaker, then that fear really preventing you, right, to become the good speaker, then that is something that you need to work on. So name that fear, understand why you have that fear, and see how that fear, how that fear preventing you to become a better person. And the next one would be make a decision. Make a decision that I'm going to change. I'm going to cope with this fear. Okay. And try to imagine what would be possible if you don't have this fear anymore. Think about the good outcome. If you don't have this fear, then you would be able to do this, and how wonderful life would be if we don't do this. So write all of that down, and then write down a small action, a small action, like how you would take one action toward making this fear to disappear, and then share that with the with the share that picture of yourself of making that decision. And by the way, I want to thank one of our participants. She write up the I am statement and put it in the mirror, and she took a selfie picture with that. It's wonderful. That is something that I really love to support all of you to do that. So with this one, name your fear, write it down, and plug it in and say, no more. I will embrace this by doing something. Okay, so just some small action.
Yeah.
Again, all of this need repeatable tasks. So every day you need to remind yourself how much you would lose if you continue to have this fear. And our own fear is so hard to overcome. So it will not be an easy task. But again, you can do it. And you have the source of energy when you connect to your heart. So we will send you the poem today, all right, the video, and also the worksheet. And we really wish you a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. And then we will see together for tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Dr. and Lan. So we will be sending you in an email all of that, and we will see you tomorrow, our last day of the 5-day Grace Challenge. But we will be continuing. I believe Dr. and Lan mentioned a little bit earlier, the last few days, and tomorrow is just a little tidbit into to give you a little taste of what practicing the grace framework is like. But Dr. Lan does have a foundational course, a grace foundational course available that will be launched on the registration is already open, but we start the first week on April 11. So for those of you guys who are listening and is interested, you can go to livingyourbestlifewithgrace.com and click on the course, foundational course, and you can read so many there's a lot of information on there as well about the course. And of course, the course is also based on the 5 days Grace Challenge, but it's a 7-week course because there's about, at the end, the 7th week is about putting it all together. And the first week is about setting you on, setting you up for success to dive into the 5 values. And you can see a lot of different testimonials on the Lyceum Facebook page as well from students that have taken the course and have had huge, tremendous success in their life and how it's had impacted their life. And it's very affordable, right, Dr. Land? How much
Yes.
is the 7-week course again?
$297. So,
yeah, very affordable. I know there's so many courses out there for that long with
and
live
you have like weekly group coachings. You will be
Yeah,
with me. So
yeah,
you will be going through the journey of these 7 weeks with me. I will
yeah,
be your coach and of my fellow EI coach, Dr. Renee Skelton, and
yes.
and also Mr. Kim Chi Chow will be the coaches that's supporting you throughout this 7 week. So
Yeah,
I can't wait to support you if you can sign up. And thank you, Lucy, for your feedback. That all of these practice, you just need to do it every day, and
yeah,
remember how great you have inside. And this course is all about your inner world. How
that's
can
right.
you anchor in your inner world so that you can be the best version of yourself moving forward?
That's right.
Okay.
We'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow for those of you guys who are interested. If you have questions tomorrow after our last challenge, we'll get into the more details about the course. And if you have any questions or anything like that, tomorrow's a day to show up and ask your question as well too. Okay. But we wish you all the best of luck with practicing the courage practice today, and see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
You
Bye.
make sure you practice name your fear. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
I hope to share it with like other people in my life because one thing I've been implementing compassion and understanding. Like, are these people using grace? Are they even aware of grace? Because I think we all practice, gratitude, respect, accountability, courage, and effort at some point in our life, and in many moments. One thing I do is, you can either be right or you can be happy. Me having a scientific background, I tend to just throw facts at people. Even if I'm right, but sometimes they're at a completely different place in their life and not in the state of mind. So I've learned I've got to listen, courageously. That's a term I've heard. And then yeah, just to engage with these tools that I'm more connected with, and they're getting stronger to live a graceful life. And yeah, to fill my cup with love and grace. And I've just been doing that every so often. Like, where am I not using grace? Or where did I use grace, and how effectively did I use grace, and where can I improve? And it's just a rinse and a repeat. And I appreciate everyone here for sharing your story. And I don't know, I just connect with everything you guys say, and it makes me grow, So thank you.